Day 2. The breathing method. Amazing what breathing does. You think you breathe all day long and say, I don't need to. Breathing methods? What are techniques? What is this? I'm breathing already. I'm natural. No, it's all shallow breathing. We are in a destimulative behavior, the comfort zone behavior, with clothes on all the time that makes us like alienated from the elements of nature coming to us. If you breathe deep, you begin to neutralize the impact, and that's what I've learned in the cold. I went into the cold naked, like in shorts, and what happens? You naturally go deeper within. I learned to breathe deep, to prime my body, to change my body chemistry, to become in control through deep breathing, contrary to shallow breathing, to come in control of the adrenal axis, of the life force, when stress is coming upon my body, just by through breathing. And then, after going a lot into the cold and learning how to breathe deep and become the master over my hormonal system in a depth unknown by science, even into the autonomic nervous system. What is that? We will explain. But it is so much more than we thought possible, is what I took from the cold into my home and began to experiment deep breathing. And the lights I saw within my head through this deep breathing and the sensations and the bliss I could get into just by going into deep breathing made me able to prime the body more than in science was thought possible. We flipped the charge. We went out of the charge. And they thought, what is happening? They looking at the monitoring while I was doing the breathing. I taught myself to do such a deep breathing that I was able even to get into the immune system. The immune system in all the levels. They injected me with a bacteria to see if I was able to resist that bacteria of making a violent reaction on the immune system, becoming sick, like headaches and fever, uncontrolled shivering, agony all over, and see if I was able, through breathing techniques, to prime the body so that the immune system at will was working and the bacteria had no chance. Then they said, yeah, but you are the Iceman. Only you can do it. No, I said, everybody is able to do it. And I will prove that to you. Give me a group of people, and within 4 days of intensive training, they were all able to receive the injection and through breathing techniques to control their immune system at will and resist the reaction on the immune system. Through breathing techniques, you learn to become in control of the depth of your brain into the cannabinoid system, the periaqueductal gray hemisphere, the deepest part of the brain. You know what resides there besides of the control over the immune system, the opioids, the cannabinoids? Your emotion. Anything that is stored within and could be trauma or fear. It could be what could make you depressed because you have no control over the emotions and the biochemistry therein. Through these breathing techniques, you are able to prime your body to go into the deepest part of your brain and learn how to regulate your mood, your emotion. So how important is breathing? Don't be shallow about it. Go deep. I will teach you all about it in the end of this story, because you are ready. If you are motivated, just take it on. A deep breath. People who are doing exercising, like ultra runners even, they ask me, Wim, how could I improve my performance? I say, hey, just think about this. Breathe more and deeper, deeper, breathe deeper than you think you need, than you feel you need. They do it and suddenly 10%, out of nowhere, they are suddenly 10% better. And lighter they run, and longer they run. How is that possible? Just take a deep breath. Don't forget to do that during the day. The importance and gravity of deep breaths is within your biochemistry, within the ability to change consciously your biochemistry. You become alkaline. We just proved this in science as the first ones. Within 20 minutes, doing these breathing techniques, you will become alkaline. Alkaline, alkaline, alkaline. Alkalinity means that the biochemistry for the neurotransmitters, the electricity system, suddenly becomes a lot better. You invest in the morning on empty stomach, breathing exercises, going into the deep, the depth of yourself, you will be able to alkalize for the rest of the day. We did the study. The people became very alkaline after 20 minutes. Comparative study to those who did not. They were like slightly acidic, and they had much less performance ability during the day, becoming more fatigued, being able to do things harder, still getting things done, but it's harder. If you become alkaline within 20 minutes, you invest hours for the rest of your day into gain, into becoming lighter. Within, you feel swift more, because the electricity system depends on the biochemistry of the body, and you are the alchemist. Through what? Deep breathing. Not all day long, but be conscious. A deep breath is able to reach out to all cells and change the biochemistry. And with that, the performance of the electricity system, called the nervous system, we have shown to get into the autonomic nervous system, thought of impossible. Logical. Why? Because we are deprived of the depth of ourselves. And now it's here. It's effective, accessible, and simple. Deep breathing changes the biochemistry, and thus the autonomic nervous system suddenly becomes in connection with your will, your consciousness. It's amazing what you can do more just by deep breathing. So we will set out day 2, peace to you, and go into the depth. Deep breathing. The gravity is enormous. Just feel, because feeling is understanding. Deep breathing, letting go. You got a stomach here and the diaphragm. Here we have the chest and we got the head. Everybody, okay, how can you bring in air in the head, oxygen in the head? Is that possible? Yes, it is possible. We climbed Kilimanjaro in a group of people with all kinds of conditions in record times, too fast for normal physiology to be able to acclimatize. But through this breathing, which also has shown itself within the study to work better even than the strong medicine called Diamox, there is just a half of the oxygen. You got to do something, otherwise you get headaches and edemias and feel sick. You do this breathing and it goes and enters within the head. So 30 deep breaths. How do we do that? Deep breathing, just into your head and let it go. Not fully out, just letting go. So, fully in, letting go. Fully in, letting go. We repeat this 30 times. What happens? You become lightheaded, loosen the body, That means that the carbon dioxide is blown off, you become alkaline. Carbon dioxide is like acidic, you become alkaline, and suddenly a whole chains of physiological mechanisms are at work. It's all there, very effective, very accessible, very strong. It's there. Just keep at it. 30 deep breaths. Belly, chest, head, letting go. Belly, chest, head, letting go. 30 times. All the magic happens, all the physiological changes happen, and all the depth is going to be activated. Then the last breath, you feel lightheaded, loose in the body and tingling. You let it go. You stop after the exhalation, after the letting go. We go for 1.5 minutes without air in the lungs. It's called a retention. You keep it there, all the magic inside happens. We will show you in the links all what happens, because we saw this in the university. So it's amazing. It's amazing what happens. After the 1.5 minutes, without breathing, after the exhalation, you take a full breath in. You hold it, squeeze to your head. It feels good. Get high on your own supply. 3 and 2 and 1, and you let it go. Wow. Bloody good. And don't forget, take the cold shower today. 1.5 minutes, 90 seconds. Before you go in, you do this breathing. Then before you go into the cold shower, you set your mind, today I'm gonna go 1.5 minutes into the cold shower. And you follow your breath. Cold shower. Feel good. Feel great. It's who you are. That means that the carbon dioxide is blown off, you become alkaline. Carbon dioxide is like acidic, you become alkaline, and suddenly a whole chains of physiological mechanisms are at work. It's all there, very effective, very accessible, very strong. It's there. Just keep at it. 30 deep breaths. Belly, chest, head, letting go. Belly, chest, head, letting go. 30 times. All the magic happens, all the physiological changes happen, and all the depth is going to be activated. Then the last breath, you feel lightheaded, loose in the body and tingling. You let it go. You stop after the exhalation, after the letting go. We go for 1.5 minutes without air in the lungs. It's called a retention. You keep it there, all the magic inside happens. We will show you in the links all what happens, because we saw this in the university. So it's amazing. It's amazing what happens. After the 1.5 minutes, without breathing, after the exhalation, you take a full breath in. You hold it, squeeze to your head. It feels good. Get high on your own supply. 3 and 2 and 1, and you let it go. Wow. Bloody good. And don't forget, take the cold shower today. 1.5 minutes, 90 seconds. Before you go in, you do this breathing. Then before you go into the cold shower, you set your mind, today I'm gonna go 1.5 minutes into the cold shower. And you follow your breath. Cold shower. Feel good. Feel great. It's who you are.